The surprises weren't over yet. The center of the earth offered many fantastical landscapes, each one different from the next. They were so strange that every now and then I pinched myself to make sure I wasn't dreaming. From the mushroom forest we found our way to a beach covered in white rocks, which resembled enormous bones. My uncle pointed to one which was shaped like a huge fang. Axel, what does that look like to you? I guessed an elephant's tusk. Wrong, a mammal's tusk. Wrong, I thought for a moment. Don't tell me that's a dinosaur bone. My uncle smiled, his eyes sparkling. Exactly, and look at all the other dinosaur bones around us. They go back millions of years ago. I touched the bone delicately. It was so white it seemed to shine. It seems very well preserved for something so old, I said. My uncle explained. That's because the earth has protected these bones like a precious treasure all this time. Look over there. That must be a tooth from Dinotherium. And over there is the skeleton of Megatherium. Oh, if only I could take one of these bones back to Hamburg with me. My colleagues would be astounded by such ancient and perfect specimens. Then I had a scary thought. Uncle, are you sure that there are only dinosaur remains here, not living dinosaurs? My uncle smiled. Perhaps you'd like to meet one. Just the thought sent a shiver from my whiskers to the tip of my tail. Meanwhile, our guide was wandering ahead. He seemed much less calm than my uncle and was moving very cautiously. I asked him, "Are you worried, Hans?" He didn't reply. He stared into the near distance, where the shadows were dark and the shapes of the plants and bones merged into darkness. My uncle pointed to the silver sea, which we could still glimpse not far off. He said, "Tell me, Axel, do you think that sea is populated with marine life?" "I truly hope not," I shrieked. "I doubt that anything living in there would be harmless." My uncle shrugged and said with a smile, "Well, we'll find out soon. Our great crossing awaits." Concerned, I asked him, "Are you sure we need to cross Lindenbrook Sea? How do you know that's the right way?" He replied confidently, "Trust me, nephew, I admit I don't know exactly where we are, but to continue we must cross the sea and reach the other side. Of that I have no doubt. But we don't even know if the sea has an end. Hans, tell him." I turned to look for our guide, but he had disappeared again. We found him on the beach with a hammer in hand and a raft in front of him. My uncle was surprised. "Hans, how did you make a raft so quickly?" Our guide hit the final nail with his hammer and replied, "I didn't build it, I just fixed it. The raft was already here." Stunned, my uncle adjusted his glasses on his snout. "Are you sure? Why, this is extraordinary news. It means that someone else made it to this point too, and I bet it was Arne Sagnussem. Holy cheese, we are going in the right direction. My instinct is infallible. And look." My uncle pointed to the planks that formed the raft and explained, "Those are made of Sutta I asked, Sutta what? Sutta Brander is the name of the Light nights in Icelandic nephew is a fossilized wood that's very sturdy. It seemed we would soon be crossing the water. I helped Hans make the final adjustments to the raft and prepared myself to be at sea.